Hello everyone, Dr. Stillman here, and today we are going to be talking about why Dr. Stillman doesn't like living in densely populated urban areas where there's problems with flooding. In addition to rural areas where there's problems with flooding, I like to be high and dry, okay? And we're going to talk about why, because it's really important for people's health, their well-being, to understand how this can really derail their good health and set them up for failure. Sick building syndrome and exposure to water damaged buildings. This is an interesting study, one of the only ones done like it, because for those of you who don't know, there's this really interesting disinterest in academia in this clinical entity. Sick building syndrome is not something controversial. Well, it is, but its existence is not controversial. I have the Washington Manual of Allergy and Immunology in my library, and there's an entire chapter on sick building syndrome about this exact pathology, and it counsels and cautions doctors to ask patients about their symptoms in a building and to remember that their symptoms can always be due to problems with the air quality in that building. Despite having spent an abundance of time with allergists, pulmonologists, ENTs, many different people whose diseases and specialties concern the human airway, there is a remarkable lack of interest in and lack of actual attention in clinical time to figuring out if the patient's being poisoned by their building. I would submit to you that this may well be because no one gets paid to cure patients in conventional medical model based on insurance billing. They get paid to treat patients. So the longer you treat the patient and the more you treat the patient, the more money you're going to make, which is why I don't work for your insurance company. Thanks for asking. I'm not interested in enrolling with them. So why does this get complex? Okay, indoor air of water damaged buildings, that's WDBs, often contains a complex mixture of fungi, mycotoxins, bacteria, endotoxins, antigens, lipopolysaccharides, and biologically produced volatile compounds. In other words, a very large mix of things. Sometimes people will fall into the trap of thinking, well, there's no mold spores in my air. I don't care that there's no mold spores in your air. What is your particulate matter count? What are your VOC levels? There are very affordable air monitoring devices, anywhere from 50 to 200 bucks. They can tell you all that, or you can have someone come to your home and actually inspect it, which I really think is wise on a periodic basis. And only once you've quantified that can you determine, okay, here's the source of the air pollution. Because remember, it's not just mold in your building that can poison you. It could be chemicals off-gassing from anything from furniture to books to carpet. If someone installs new carpet in their home and comes to me and says someone is sick in the house, I say, can you smell the carpet? When you left the house for a period of hours and you're no longer nose blind to it, do you smell it when you walk through the door? And then how quickly can you air the place out? Because there's nothing you can do once the carpet's in, short of ripping it up again, to get rid of all that toxic, chemical, other than airing the house out and letting the air dilute it, and then get rid of it. But I digress. So there's all these different things in the air of a water damaged building that can be making you sick. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's not just a single chemical species we can easily test for. It's also why I'm not really a fan of testing people for mycotoxins. I don't need to know if they have mycotoxins. I need to know if they live in a healthy house. If you feel better outside of your house, that's a huge red flag. And I don't know if it's mycotoxins or if it's, cat dander from the last owner of your house, or if it's the VOCs that are coming out of your carpets in trace amounts. I have no idea. It could be any of a really extremely wide variety of things. This is why one of my favorite diagnostic tests is not really a test, is for someone to take a camping vacation for a week, because it gets them away from all of their technology, all their EMFs, all their sources of indoor air pollution in their home. It gets them away from their water source, if that's a potential issue, like a well. I've seen those poison people. And then it tells us, do they feel better in nature? Because they may just have what I like to call nature deficiency. If this video has been helpful to you, make sure that you check out my link tree below to find out how you can keep in touch with me best. And if you would like to become a patient at my practice, please apply to work with me at stillmanmd.com. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.